Two retirees can look at the same Social Security statement and make completely different choices. One claims early because the break-even age looks attractive. The other waits because a larger monthly check may matter most at age 88, not 68. Here's my view. A break-even chart can be part of the analysis, but it should never be the decision. The real question is, what choice better protects the years when you may be least able to earn, work, or adjust your spending? Hi, I'm Lima, and welcome to the Build Enduring Wealth podcast. If you've ever wondered whether you're making the right financial decisions for retirement, your family, or your future, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll tackle the topics that matter most, from investing in retirement planning to taxes, estate planning, and the economy, so you can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Today, we're looking at Social Security timing through a wider lens. We'll consider three questions. How valuable is a larger inflation-adjusted income stream later in life? What happens to the surviving spouse if one person dies first? And how does a claiming choice change the pressure on your investment portfolio and your taxes? I'll use simple hypothetical numbers to make the trade-offs easier to see. They are illustrations, not recommendations. Your health, earnings record, marital situation, other income, taxes, and priorities all matter. Let's dive in. The break-even question sounds precise. Claim earlier, receive checks sooner, and compare that with claiming later for a larger benefit. Eventually, the larger benefit may catch up with the payments you didn't receive. Useful? Yes. Complete? No. A lifetime total doesn't tell you when the money is most valuable? What happens if your spouse outlives you? Or how your portfolio performs while you're waiting? Think about retirement as two different timelines. The first might include travel, home projects, and more flexible spending. The second might come years later, when healthcare, housing, support, or simply maintaining independence becomes more important. Your spending may change, but the need for dependable income may not disappear. In fact, it may become more important. Imagine David, a hypothetical 64-year-old with about $900,000 invested. Suppose his retirement spending target is $6,000 a month. He could claim an illustrated Social Security benefit of roughly $2,400 a month earlier, or wait for a larger inflation-adjusted benefit later. The question is not simply which choice produces more lifetime dollars. It's whether David wants to use more portfolio dollars in his 60s to create a stronger income floor in his 80s. That larger future benefit can act like longevity protection. It is designed to continue for as long as you live, and it generally receives cost of living adjustments. That doesn't make waiting automatically right. Some people need the income sooner. Some have health concerns, different priorities, or a portfolio that cannot comfortably bridge the gap. The point is to value the income when you may need it most, not just when a spreadsheet says the totals cross. So look at two timelines. What does your plan need during the first 5 years? And what does it need if one of you is 90? Those are different planning problems. Ask your plan to separate essential expenses from discretionary spending, then show which income sources are durable and which depend on market performance. This is important to focus on. Social Security timing is also a choice about how much of your later retirement paycheck you want supported by a predictable source. Now bring a spouse into the picture. A married couple is not making two isolated claiming decisions. They're making one household income decision, even though the benefit statements arrive separately. Suppose Michael's illustrative benefit is $3,000 a month and Susan's is $1,100. While both are alive, the household may receive both checks. But if Michael dies first, the surviving spouse may not continue receiving the full amount the couple received together. Depending on eligibility and the applicable Social Security rules, survivor income may be based on the higher worker's record, while the smaller benefit may no longer continue in the same way. The exact outcome needs to be verified using current rules and the household's actual records. That changes the question. Instead of asking only, when should I claim mine, ask, what income would remain if either one of us were no longer here? For many couples, the higher earners claiming choice deserves special attention as a survivor income decision. Not because there is one universal answer, but because the surviving spouse may face the same mortgage, property costs, and health expenses with less income. This isn't about creating fear. It's about making the risk visible. Review the two benefit estimates side by side. Consider age differences, health, pensions, insurance, expected expenses, and the income each person might need alone. The strongest looking plan for two people living together may not be the strongest plan for one person living alone later. That's a question a break-even chart cannot answer by itself. Now here's the part people often miss. The portfolio has to bridge the gap. If delaying benefits means withdrawing an extra $24,000 a year from investments for 3 years, the plan should test what happens if those withdrawals occur during a market decline. That's not a prediction. It's a stress test. The goal is to see whether the portfolio can carry the early retirement years without creating avoidable pressure later. Claiming earlier can reduce portfolio withdrawals in the short run. Waiting may create more withdrawals now, but potentially a larger income floor later. That tension is the plan, not a flaw in the plan. Neither choice exists in a vacuum. Taxes belong in the same conversation. Retirement account withdrawals, investment income, and Social Security can interact over several years. The years between retirement and required distributions may create planning opportunities, but tax rules change and the right approach depends on your complete circumstances. This is not about finding a clever trick. It's about coordinating the buckets: Social Security, pensions if you have them, cash reserves, taxable investments, and retirement accounts. So what does this mean when you put it all on one page? First, Social Security can help address longevity risk by providing income that continues through a long retirement. Second, it can protect the surviving spouse, especially when one person has a much larger earnings record. Third, it has to be coordinated with portfolio withdrawals, market conditions, and taxes. The goal is not to maximize one number. The goal is to create an income strategy you understand and can live with. Before you make a claiming decision, do this one exercise. Find the most current benefit estimates for both spouses if you're married. Write down the ages you're considering, your essential monthly expenses, your other income sources, and the accounts available to fund the gap. Then ask 4 questions. What happens to income if one spouse dies? How much would the portfolio need to provide under each option? What could taxable income look like over time? And which assumptions about health, longevity, or spending should be tested? Bring those questions to a qualified professional who can evaluate them with your full plan and current benefit information. Don't let a single break-even age, a headline statistic, or someone else's experience make an irreversible decision for you. Your situation is personal and the goal is clarity. Don't ask only, what's my break-even age? Ask, what income will protect the life I'm planning for and the person who may outlive me? Thank you for joining me on the Build Enduring Wealth podcast. If you found today's conversation helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who could benefit. To learn more about our approach to retirement planning, wealth management, and biblically responsible investing, visit mrnaadvisory.com/team/Marco-Lima. If you're ready for a conversation about your financial future, we'd be honored to help. And remember, at MRA Advisory Group, we believe every financial decision is connected. Until next time, keep building enduring wealth. Your future is built one financial decision at a time.